July 18th, 2024. This is Bob from the Two Old Guys Garage. And got some measure of success this morning. Transmission is in and bolted. And a quick visual inspection through the side looks okay for the throw bearing. Everything's matched up. But in the process of bolting everything down, I discovered that the new rear T10 transmission mount, I don't know if I can see it right there. Yeah. That corner of the mount, excuse me with the goddamn light, if you look down there you can see a shiny spot where when it's lowered it actually interferes with the pad that's welded to the cross member. So that, and the other thing I discovered was the bolts to go to the bottom of the mount, boy, not quite lined up because the hole was just only as big as the bolt. So, and then while working with that, I discovered that, to my surprise, the position of the transmission was offset a little bit. It wasn't dead center along the center line of the car. So I took the cross member off, and I've modified the cross member mounting holes to the bottom of the motor mount to be slotted, so that when I tighten it down I can actually make sure this is centered to the car and not offset a little bit to the left as it was. And at the same time, having the cross member out of the way, I'm going to grind the corners off of the two pads so that the mount, when it's down, does not interfere. Okay, feels good, but it's past noontime. Sweating up. I was fortunate it wasn't too hot this morning. So got a lot done today, and I'm very happy with that. And with that, I'm going to end this Part 8, Segment 1, and go in and cool off. Thank you, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye. Hi there, July 19th, 2024. This is Part 8, Segment 2 of the Coupe 32 Coupe rebuild by Bob from the old whatever garage. Okay, so yesterday I found out that I couldn't quite get these bolts in. It was off just a skosh. Very, very tight fitting. Hang on a second. Anyway, I took this cross member channel off and I slotted the holes. You can see the slots. So that allowed these threads to catch, and it allowed me to shift the whole transmission and engine drive line over to where the output shaft is center lined over the middle of the car. Where it was about maybe a half an inch on this side, but so under there moving things. Also, I ground off a little bit of the Lincoln transmission mount so that there's clearance on the, hang on just a second, I'm having trouble with my voice here. All right, back. Transmission bolted. This is the bracket that I made about a month or so ago that puts the return spring from here to this tab on the clutch. Can't find the spring yet. Also, this is the 4-foot flex line that gets pressurized to move the clutch cylinder in. And that's going to be routed along this piece here. There's already a hole here for an Adele clamp. I'll put another Adele clamp here. So that'll be that way. I took the fitting and did the Teflon trick and put it at the angle that I wanted to mate with the AN4. And then that gives me room to tie wrap this stuff along here. I have not taken out the hydraulic line for the previous slave cylinder, which is that guy hanging down there, that flex line, and it goes into the steel line. I'm going to wait till I get all the new clutch slave cylinder working, and then I'll snip that stuff out, take that line out, put it in the box with the rest of the old hydraulic slave cylinder stuff, in case I ever need it. Don't know. So this is looking good. Transmission is bolted to the engine and in and all up under here. Excuse me while I move around. Here's some of the other view of things on here. This is the Bendix Midland Hydrovac vacuum booster. This is a 4-inch PVC by 12-inch vacuum tank, which is homemade and clamped with stainless steel screws. Oops, excuse me. And the hose that connects to that, there's a T on this end, and the T has a barb fitting with a cap to do a test point. See how much vacuum, whether it's there, staying there, leaking down, etc., etc. This guy is the muffler suspension clamp. And originally that's bought as an aftermarket universal clamp that has a bit of canvas in here. Well, it ages and it breaks. And my trick was to take heater hose, squeeze it, and then I got it bolted in, so I got a new clamp. Now, I haven't attached this because this is hanging. I'll connect the headers first, locate this, and then put that suspension clamp on. All right, so I'm knocking off in a little bit. What's planned for tomorrow is to take the drive shaft, lube the Zerk fittings, and then install it, okay? And then probably next, what I think I'm gonna do is I'm going to fill the Woodwood cylinder with its top 3 and put a hose on it to feed back into the cylinder and bleed it, and then cap it off. Take another check of the inside of the new slave bushing, make sure everything looks right, it's rotated to the right position, and then start to bleed to see if I can get the clutch working. So that'll be a biggie. Okay, hang on while I climb out of here. Hi, little addendum to part 8, segment 2. The chopped up rubber grommets are not going to work because the bell housing adjacent to the holes are all those fluted ridges of the cast-in aluminum. They just don't fit very good. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to take this flexible hose, which is about the size of this, and I'll cut a piece, and then I'll slice it, and then I'll feed it over the brake lines that are coming through the holes and slide it inside so that it cushions it and makes a rubber grommet, custom rubber grommet. And then I'll tie it together with a tie wrap so it'll stay in place. And then I may not still use the adult clamps to tie the two together to give it a little more rigidity on the outside. But anyway, that's what's going to happen with the 2 lines coming out of the bell housing, excuse me. Okay, that's it. Take care. Hi there, Bob, Two Old Guys Garage. It's July 21st, 2024. This is part 8, segment 3. And we had some cool weather this morning, off and on some rain showers. Got a free car wash in my van out there. And got a lot done. The drive shaft has been lubed on the front U-joint and installed. The back one I can't seem to get the Zerk fitting working, but that's all right because I discovered while I was doing it that the rear joint has got just a tiny bit of free play on the cup, so I'm going to replace it. Don't want to take any chances. And speaking about replacing, anytime I run across a bolt, if it isn't a new grade 8 bolt, then at least it's the walk washers, and sometimes the flats are changed because they've been compressed a long time on the flats. So the drive shaft got in, and then I got the front motor mounts in, and show you something. I don't know if you know what old Ford motor mounts look like, but there they are there. And these are collapsed, and they're kind of hard. This part goes underneath through the actual steel motor mount, and then this goes on top, and so on and so forth. So those are all new. All the pieces are new. The exhaust is connected back up. And these are the old gaskets, and they're pretty shit. I had some new ones, fortunately, in stock. So I put the new gaskets in, and that included connecting up the muffler where I replaced the broken support clamp. So the exhaust is set and ready to go. Motor mounts, all the mounts are there. Oh yeah, when I put the drive shaft in, if you recall, I moved the whole drive line over to the center of the car frame, which was maybe, I don't know, half an inch, whatever. So I had to readjust the magnetic pickup for the VDO speedometer because it was then too close to the shaft. And although the rear end is solid and the car is solid, it was a little too close for the pickup, so I moved it away to its normal position. And let's see, what else have I got going here? Oh, I guess that's about it. I just cut the pieces for the hose. Oh, that's right. I connected the short 18-inch flex line that came with the hydraulic slave cylinder from Speedway. I connected it to the master cylinder. My next operation will be probably tomorrow morning to put in the .3 and bleed the Willwood master cylinder for the clutch in a feedback loop, and then cap it off. So getting close to the moment of truth. Today being rainy, the humidity is obviously up, so I'm not going to open up and mess around with the .3 fluid, which is required for the Willwood and the slave cylinder because it absorbs moisture very easily. So I assume it'll be dry hopefully tomorrow morning, and we'll do the bleeding of that and proceed on to see if we can see if the clutch works. That's about it for segment 3. Thank you all. I appreciate you watching and your comments if you have any. Take care out there. Bye-bye. Hi. July 24th? No. 23rd. July 23rd, 2024. This is Bob from the Two Old Guys Garage. Yesterday was a day of minor to moderate success and major disaster. I'm getting ready to pull the transmission out. I'll tell you why in a second. But what happened was that I bled the Willwood new master cylinder for the clutch slave cylinder. Bled okay. Got action for it. However, when I went to test it and realized that everything was together, drive shaft, motor mounts, exhaust, and all that crap, that I couldn't get it into gear. It was just grinding like hell, so it wasn't disconnecting the clutch disc enough. So, and then all of a sudden it started making a whacking noise. Something on the pressure plate is interfering with the hydraulic clutch slave cylinder, and it's contacting, and when you're running the engine, tack, 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 you can hear all this crappy noise. So I got no choice but to pull the transmission and take a look and see what the hell's going on inside there, and decide I did take a peek through the sides, both visually with mirrors and flashlights and with the endoscope, and couldn't really tell anything except that the supposed 105 thousandths clearance to the fingers is way the hell off. It looks like by eye, it looks like it's at least 1/4 of an inch. So I have to assume that the pressure plate having been bolted together new, seated somewhat, and the fingers are now lower than what they were when I took the so-called precise measurement. Anyway, I'll find out later. At this point, I'm going to jack it up and see if I can wrestle it out. I have made a bunch of modifications to the floorboard. If you look down there, you can see the shift linkage. This time it should clear. I don't have to twist and rotate. I should be able to come straight up and out. And there's the strap to help me lift it out. Okay, I'm going to pause here and I'll be back in a little bit. Back. Okay, it's out. And it is, what I figured it would be. The pressure plate, when it went to Hayes in '71 and got all balanced up, has a balance weight on it. And right there, when you depress the clutch, that fitting hits the balance weight because it sticks up above the pressure plate a bit. I think it's about a 1/4 inch rod. You can see it in here. Yeah, there it is there. It's a little dark, but you can see it's kind of shiny on the leading edge. Here's a better shot of it. You can see looks like it's a piece of 3/8 steel rod that's welded into the pressure plate for balancing. Anyway, back again, slight pause. I gotta collect my thoughts and see what I'm gonna do. So I think I'll probably publish this out, but it doesn't look like now that I can use the hydraulic sleeve throw-up bearing. It's supposed to fit a T10, but, and by the way, I did check that the Borg & Beck pressure plate that I use is in fact used on Chevrolet small block V8s and big blocks, as well as the diaphragm type. I don't know if the diaphragm type would be lower, but the point is that the clutch wouldn't disengage anyway, so I got to think about all this and I'll get back to you later. Thank you. Hey, back again with some more observations. There was the mark of a contact point to the balance weight on the pressure plate, and I said earlier that it was the leading edge. It's not. The engine rotates the other way. It's the trailing edge, and that's probably just as well, because if it was the leading edge, it might have really screwed things up more inside there. At any rate, the fact that it hit here, I just discovered, actually loosened up this fitting. So if I continue to try stuff like that, it would have been .3 leaking inside there, which I really would not have liked to happen. The bottom line is that this interference is not going to go away. Even if I change the pressure plate to a different pressure plate, the amount of this travel just apparently is not enough to get a free disengagement of the existing clutch and pressure plate. So what's obvious is that I'm probably going to go back to my original setup, which did work back in the 70s and for a while. So hopefully with the German spline grease and the ball bearing and a proper adjustment going back in, it should work. It certainly will work better than this thing. So I guess with that, I'm going to put this video together and put it out there, and then I'm going to pass the day's work. I'm too hot, too tired, too disgusted. So anyway, take care, everybody out there. This will be the end of this part 8, segment 4, I think it is. Anyway, bye-bye. See you all later.